Buenas, Micronesia. I'm Johnny Rosario,
And I'm Troy Torres.
and we are here in our studios in Tumon, August 31st.
The Guam Legislature has to pass a budget by tonight, or according to Guam law, they will not get paid.
Them or everybody?
Them.
Oh, okay.
So, like, they made this law a few years ago. I think this is like the late Speaker Ben Pangalinan's law, where if they don't pass the budget by August 31, then they won't get paid. But that doesn't stop the legislature from inserting a notwithstanding any other provision language in there, whatever. The legislature is the legislature. They can make their own rules. Like, they're exempt. Like, they don't even do drug testing at the Guam legislature. Like the rest of
Not even their workers?
so the executive branch and the judiciary, they have to do. What was that?
It was your protein shake.
Oh, they have to do drug testing. It's like being an employee at the governor's office. You always got something on your nose.
Yeah, but over there it's brown.
I'm very yellow tonight. I just noticed that. It's my favorite color. So anyway, I actually have my computer on loud. The legislature's in session. I'm on live on their YouTube channel. The senators are all there except for two who I believe have excused absences. Senator Pito Tulahi, who's caring for his wife right now. And I don't know who's this in the front. Oh, the speaker. So whenever the speaker is like on the top, her desk is vacant. Anyway, so we're just waiting for them to start, and I believe where they're at is just they came into session just to vote on the budget. Now, the legislature. Wait, I'm sorry, I skipped the whole. Please share.
We just wanted to talk about this to get it out there, and then we can do the share. But if you can if you can share our page on your timelines and tag some of your people who might be interested in listening to what we all have to say, that will be great. We also have a YouTube page. It's Kandit News Group. If you can follow, and share there too. I believe we also have Instagram. We're getting on all the platforms.
Are we on Instagram tonight? Chillin'?
Oh, and we got a really nice message on Instagram.
Oh, we did? What did it
Yeah,
say?
but I don't have my phone.
I have the thing here.
Guarantee maybe tomorrow.
Guarantee maybe tomorrow?
Yeah, guarantee maybe tomorrow, Instagram. But we do. It's on Kandit's.
Yeah, that's Kandit. You don't want to see my personal Instagram.
Oh, no, not that. I don't know who.
So, today, before we get into the session stuff, today was one of those. I mean, it was a very sunny day. It was a very sunny day, except for all the shade that was thrown.
Plenty shade today.
Plenty shade today. And you know what? I don't know. I don't know that I've ever come to a point in this show where, we would be the ones who would be saying, we're just not going to engage in that kind of thing. It's a lot. Mariana's dirty laundry and all. Let me just tell you, Mariana's dirty laundry is kicking right now.
Oh, it's there. I didn't even see
No,
it.
not that one. Not that.
Oh.
Not. But there was. But I really want to Mariana's dirty laundry some stuff. But then if we did, then we couldn't avoid the big elephant in the room.
Right.
But tonight we are avoiding that big pink freaking elephant in the room.
It's the elephant and its mama.
Oh yeah. And they're trampling all over the place, and Johnny and me are like, do. because they're just, I don't know. I think we need some time to think about that. Yeah.
I just think it's the timing of it and just all the work that's being done that's good, Just when you think you're here, something comes along and takes you right, boom, back down.
Yeah, and maybe give us time to digest it. Maybe we'll never even ever bring it up. I don't know. We'll just see how this whole thing goes. Mm-hmm. All we're saying is we ain't involved.
We're not the ones that called it out.
We ain't involved.
And that's very rare.
We didn't say shit. So we figure there's a budget going on, and that's pretty damn important.
That is
for our
very
island.
important.
Did you find the Instagram thing?
No, it's okay. Wait, let me go to the Facebook. I always say that, the Facebook.
Ooh,
So
nay.
tomorrow.
Ooh, nay. So, anyway, while we're waiting for the legislature to get in session, we want to see who's going to vote on what. I don't think they debate. When they get to this portion of their agenda, they don't debate anything. But what I did want to show you is, go ahead and cast on my screen, Prim. Here's last year's, here's the budget that we're currently working off of. It's the fiscal year 2019 budget. And in their budget, they tell us that they're going to collect this fiscal year $66.4 million in individual income taxes. As of, this next document I'm going to show you is the collections through fiscal year 2019 for the 10 months. So this is 10 out of 12 months. they have actually. Oh, did I read that right? Individual income taxes. Yes, that's 2019, and they have collected $86 million.
Not 66.
They are, and with only 10 months, with only, is this the correct one? Yeah, public law. Yeah, they are 12 months over, $12 million over their projection, and there's still 2 months of collections left. They're going to be super over their revenue projections.
And that's individual tax returns.
That's just
not,
individual, yeah.
Not the business tax.
The corporate income tax. So let's see what corporate income, they estimated they're going to get $83 million. And so far, up to July, they collected $67 million. So that's, what is that?
60, 83.
83 and 67.
16.
A $16 million difference with 2 months left in the fiscal year, August and September. What's 67 divided by 12? That's like 5 point something million, right?
I don't know.
Like 5.5 million or something like that. So 11 million more. Oh, they're gonna make that revenue projection or something like that. Well, they'll be like a little under. And then withholding, $223 million is what they projected for the entire fiscal year. So far, they've collected, as of July, $201 million. They're gonna make that projection. And then for the business privilege tax, $311 million is what they projected in the budget for the remainder of this year, or for all of this year. And so far, they have collected $252. Well, if you include the total business privilege tax, $256 million. And that was with the net out of whatever went to the GMHA Pharmaceuticals Fund. So it's actually a little bit more than that. So they are going to meet their projection in the business privilege tax. They're going to meet their projections in withholding. They're going to come out maybe a little under in corporate, and they're going to exceed their projections in individual income taxes. So while the governor does not want to reduce the business privilege tax from 5% to 4%, and she wants to keep it at 5% forever, the people who've actually been paying more in taxes, aside from everyone who pays the business privilege tax, has been the average worker. And not only, the people, not only is more of that coming out of going to be paid from our paychecks, but it's been more of it is in withholding. Let's look at what the budget that the legislature is about to vote on. Hang on. Boy, look at that. Their corporate income tax collections is like, let me see, $2 million more than this year. That's the projection for next year. Individual income tax collections, about $4 million more this year than from last year, even though the projection is at way more than that now. I mean, for the remainder of this year. And then for the business, for the GRT or the BPT, $314.8 million versus this year, $311.5 million. So all the revenue categories are going up. The government is collecting way more money from all of us. Way more money.
Else, right?
Yeah. And their doomsday about that corporate income tax from the Trump tax cuts thing hasn't panned out. So they're just banking off of the workers, basically. And not just the workers, but even those who don't work and have to pay higher prices everywhere in groceries and everything. And the governor wants to hold on to that BPT forever. Senator Jim Moylan, he wanted to get rid of the BPT. He tried maybe like 3 times already, right? I don't know if anyone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's tried 3 times to get rid of that increase in the BPT, and the senators shot him down. They're just shilling for the Leon Guerrero administration. Now, why they want to keep that, I don't know. I do not know. I saw something on Facebook from some legislative employees saying that this 1% increase in the BPT is just 1 penny per $1 or $1 per $100.
I saw that.
That's not the right math, guys. Like, yeah, that's not exactly how it works. Maybe for the Bank of Guam, maybe for banks, that's how it works, because they only pay taxes on their net. But for everybody else who is not like a big corporation or who doesn't get this qualifying certificate or some special exemption in the law that only the corporate and the rich and powerful get, that's 1% off of your gross. It doesn't matter how many bills you have to pay, how many liabilities you have, what the power bill is, or the cost of your employees. You don't get to net that out. So it's way more than, sometimes it makes you go into a negative. Like you're not gonna have any money to pay. You have to fire your employees because you need to pay your taxes. It's you pay your employees or don't pay taxes and get in trouble with the law, you know? So let's see where the legislature goes with this whole thing.
They're not live yet. It's still.
They're live, but they're not saying anything. Sorry, we timed this whole thing because we thought that the legislature
Would be on time.
would be. So we were like, we're going to bring you, live their vote. And I actually have nothing else to say about this subject because it's Saturday. And even though we're working, we're not losers, like. Want to just call Tello? See if she.
Yeah. See, are you guys going live?
Let's call Tello. And let's see if she looks at her phone.
Let's go see if she rolls her eyes at Troy Torres.
People can see the screen, right?
Yeah. I would wait till it reads.
She doesn't have it on her.
Is it on her desk?
Yeah. Oh, there.
There.
Hello? Hi.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello?
it's Troy.
Hey, yes, I know. You see me standing when I wave to you.
We're watching you. We're watching you in session. You're live on our show. We were like, because we're waiting for session to start. We're like, who are we gonna call? Hey, so say hi to our audience. Oh, there you're waving. You're waving.
Right?
Say hi to our audience.
I'm sorry?
Say-
Hello.
Hey, okay.
Hey, Troy, people. And don't let me forget Romeo and Carlos.
No, Romeo's not here. Romeo's not here. But Eric is here.
Off-day Senator.
Oh, okay.
He says half a day,
who's
Senator.
there?
Eric Rosario. He says half a day, Senator.
Oh, half a day.
So, okay.
I'm trying to find a place where I can talk to you openly without,
So you guys,
without bugs in this room.
you guys are just gonna vote, right?
Yeah, and earlier someone stood up to do a notwithstanding to go over the 10 p.m. Law that says you can't go over 10 p.m. But yet, once again, they're ramming this down our throat, and yeah, it's
Hey,
not a.
You guys tried to get.
It's very non-transparent.
Oh,
Just wait till everybody falls asleep.
well, you guys tried to get rid of the business privilege tax increase, right?
I'm sorry. Well, what do you mean? We tried to get rid of it.
The increase. I know Senator Jim Moylan was very strong about that, about getting rid of. So we were looking at the revenues, right? And it's showing we're tracking to collect way more in individual income taxes than what was budgeted. We're tracking to collect more we're tracking to break even with withholding and collect more in BPT than we thought. And as a matter of fact, even corporate income taxes, the 60 million shortfall that the Leon Guerrero administration was projecting ain't no 60 million shortfall. It's like maybe like a 5 million shortfall or something. So, but all in all, the revenues are
How much
panning out
shortfall? I'm sorry, Troy, what did you say? How much shortfall?
like a 5 million shortfall tracking.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so with that in mind, I think there are a lot of people who are wondering, well, what's all the money being used for then?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell your audience right now, and I haven't even voted yet, but I will be voting no on this budget bill.
Oh, wow.
Which obviously, this budget bill did nothing to address the cost of living for our families here on Guam.
Wow.
It didn't address the safety issues that we were supposed to do. It showed no cost-cutting leaders at all.
Yeah.
It gave a raise to the legislature. What the heck? And
So
they're taking away $1 million away from the judicial?
the legislature is getting an increase?
Sorry?
Did you say the legislature is getting an increase?
Yes!
Oh,
Check it
wow.
out, Troy.
They have to.
Check it out. In
the
fact,
page
in
online.
July, he tried to make an amendment. I didn't know what. I was just so disgusted. By the end of the evening, she put it at the very tail end an amendment to take the increase that the legislature got and put it to like pharmaceuticals and I was like in a daze about the whole thing toward the end. But it didn't matter. I wasn't going to vote for this bill anyway.
Wow. Well, we did notice
Yeah,
that
well,
Senator
right.
Therese Sirlahi's effort to give more funding to the hospital, that you were on board with
Yes.
with that amendment, but it ultimately failed. Can you tell us what? I mean, can you talk to us about what that whole debate was like?
In regards to the
The-
excess revenue in 2020, I mean, 2019
Yeah, the excess
revenue.
revenues. Yeah, she was trying to dedicate
And
more of
then
it to GMH.
Yeah, and using any of that excess revenue toward the hospital?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we were all on board. You know, I'm one of the biggest advocates for a hospital. I've been trying to get this bill through to have a task force put together with all the efforts that Dennis Rodriguez had done, pages and pages of research from the former task. You should see the public hearing that we had on my bill
Yeah.
regarding the task force for the hospital. And you had former people who were on Dennis Rodriguez's task, Representative Dennis Rodriguez's task force who were there to testify. And all the work that put together to putting a new hospital. Of course, I'm going to support something like this, any excess revenue. But you and I both know, Troy, whatever excess revenue comes in,
Yeah.
well, you know, some of the bills will be paid later on, and another day, hey, did they start yet, Troy? Because I'm outside talking to you.
I think
Are you guys working?
there's a delay on the YouTube thing. But why don't you go back inside? Go back inside so that you're not late. Thank you.
Oh, you guys, thank you so much. And thank you. Hopefully, you know, we can get some
We
people
can
to
talk
wake up
after.
in Guam and find out what these guys are doing. So anyways, just thank you for the call. You can call me after if you'd like.
Okay,
No
cool.
worries.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Senator.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
That was pretty cool of her.
And she waved
She
at the-
waved.
That was cool, man.
That was very cool of her. I highly doubt any other senator will answer their phone.
Call Will. Call Will.
Okay, let's call Will. Let's call
Call
Will.
Will.
Where's my phone?
Oh, right here.
Oh, here. I don't remember his number. It's like a 929 something.
You don't remember? Oh.
There she is.
Oh, yeah, I remembered it.
Didn't start yet, right?
Hey, she's freaking telling Will that we called.
Hey, let's
He's not gonna answer. Like, oh, they're calling me.
She's telling Jim. Hi, Senator.
How are you?
This is Johnny and Troy. Honest to God, we have nothing better to do than to find out from senators what's going on right now.
It's too funny, Troy. If you
We're-
look up, are you tracking us on YouTube right
Yeah.
now?
we are.
You guys are live on our show right now. We're casting the session on, so we're just looking at you guys to see if you'll answer our phone calls.
You're crazy.
So,
Can access.
can you?
They have special access.
Oh, there you. We just saw you waving. So tell us about this budget. I know you guys tried to lower the business privilege tax, right? You guys tried to lower the business privilege tax, but those
Yeah,
amendments
right.
failed, right? But thank you for that on behalf of the people of Guam. Thank you for fighting for the people. Well, you know what we're a little puzzled about is that we looked at the revenue. We just explained the revenues from this current budget and what the CRER is projecting as major increases in revenue in individual income tax collections, looking like a break even on withholding, maybe a small deficit in corporate income, and a break even on business privilege, right?
Yeah.
On business privilege. So all in all, there's a revenue increase that's going to happen, and then the upcoming budget projects increases as well. So, do you have anything to say to the people about maybe the argument that you guys have for rolling back the BPT in light of these unexpected revenue increases?
Well, I can only speak for myself, but having had the discussions with the panel, I don't have the analysis in front of me, but there are a couple of things to keep in mind. The first one I presented was an OPA report. I guess it was dated June of this year, if I'm not mistaken, and I was able to cite it verbatim that showed that for the last 3 fiscal years we underestimated the revenues, but for some interesting reason this time, we're starting to see revenues come in that are deemed excess and or lapsed, but you've got to know that although they're lapsed and or excess, in my humble opinion, and again, we didn't have enough time to go back and spread 3 years worth of fiscal years, based on these realities. But these were carryovers, in my opinion, and I'm no financial expert, from the austerity measures that were implemented both by the Calvo administration, but also by the posture of the 34th Guam Legislature. There was very strict control. So, in short, if we budgeted $10, but we only expended $8.50 or $9, but in reality $11 came in. That quote unquote excess, that quote unquote lapse, in my humble opinion, is justification going forward for the rollback of some part of the PPT or in full part of the real property improvement tax. Now, I did bring that up in discussions both with the caucus and members of the panel on the side, but I couldn't figure out if we were to drop the DPT rollback at the tail end, as we discussed offline, how we could proportionally share that across the entire budget. But the argument is there. The argument is stated as a matter of public record now, going forward into the new fiscal year, that if in fact we're experiencing additional revenues above what was projected, there's a couple of things that could be going on. I think the phenomenon of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act could actually be working, because maybe these businesses are reinvesting their monies. Maybe there's revenues being generated in other ways outside of what they had intended in terms of artificially raising government revenues through the DPT. So that has to be dissected over a longer period of time. I have a very limited staff that was starting to look into this, but now I think we have a clean 6 months later in front of us to dive out and analyze that based both on tools, the revenues and expenditures. And so, this was a very eye-opening opportunity for me to see people shift and the policy position shift among different groups. But one thing's for certain, that there's a lot more money than we anticipated coming in for FY19. And so that's a good baseline. Troy, coming into my second term, so I can use that information going into the incoming fiscal year FY20. But these are the things, and I'd like to talk to you more. I'd be happy to come into your show next week,
Cool.
even before your time, and we'd be able to talk about my position and some of the things that do stand out for me in this budget. For example, this is the first time, I think it's a win for the hospital that we got $10 million earmarked for the hospital CIP. I mean, that's without having to go and float a bond. And I remember your position on that, having overheard you and the price.
Yeah, we were very. I think Senator Therese Sirlahi was trying to get your attention. We just saw her on Go to Your Guest. She was trying to get your attention.
Everybody's trying to get my attention. You have it right now, but I got to say goodbye, sign off.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Come back to talk with you again.
Thank you, Senator. Okay.
Thanks, Troy. Have a good
Okay,
one.
you too. Bye. I wish we had Senator Therese Sirlahi's number so we could call her and be like, "Hey, girl, we love you."
I would be quiet.
It would be quiet.
I would be quiet.
Why? To her?
Yeah.
and just be like,
Let her speak, yeah.
oh yeah, yeah. I wouldn't have any questions for her.
Yeah, I would.
I'd be like, can I just have your autograph? I love her. I love her. And you know what? Today was such a shady day. Let's just start throwing out some like positive, good vibes. And I'll start with, I like what Senator Kelly March Taitzino is wearing. I don't actually, but I just wanted to say something positive.
Oh,
Yeah.
it matches her hair.
Well, there's some. I think they're starting right now. Let's go back to the Guam legislature.
There, you're starting.
Emina 35 na legislatura in Guahan is back from recess. Vice Speaker, Majority Leader Nelson, you are recognized. If you can bring us back to item 18, please.
Situs Masi, Madam Speaker, notwithstanding the House rules, I move that we go to agenda item 18 to act on bill number 186-35 COR as amended by the Committee on General Government Operations, Appropriations, and Housing, and further amended in the Committee of the Whole in the third reading.
On the motion, are there any objections? Hearing none. Motion carries. Vice Speaker, Majority Leader Nelson, you are recognized to excuse.
Situs Masi, Madam Speaker, I move to excuse the members not present for today's session.
On that motion, hearing no objections, motion carries. Colleagues, we are now on item 18, consideration of the daily file. Clerks, please read the title.
Bill number 186-35 COR, as amended by the Committee on General Government Operations, Appropriations, and Housing, and further amended in the Committee of the Whole, introduced by Joe S. San Agustin. An act making appropriations for the operations of the executive, legislative, and judiciary branches of the Government of Guam for fiscal year ending September 30th, 2020, making other appropriations and establishing miscellaneous and administrative provisions.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Senator Castro. Senator Castro, pass. Senator Lee. Senator Lee, pass. Senator Marsh Titano. Senator Marsh Titano, aye. Senator Moylan. Senator Moylan, pass. Senator Munya. Senator Munya, pass. Speaker Munya Barnes.
Again.
Speaker Munya Barnes, aye. Vice Speaker Nelson. Vice Speaker Nelson, pass. Senator Perez. Senator Perez, aye. Senator Rangel. Senator Rangel, aye. Senator San Agustin. Senator San Agustin, aye. Senator Shelton. Senator Shelton, pass. Senator Titagui. Senator Titagui, pass. Senator Pito Terlahi. Senator Pito Terlahi, excused. Senator Therese Terlahi. Senator Therese Terlahi, pass. Senator Torres. Senator Torres, aye.
Uh-oh. Houston, there may be a problem.
What's the problem, Troy?
If these senators hold their passes, they'll be marked as no votes, and they need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Senator Castro.
They need 2 more aye votes.
Senator Castro, pass.
Ooh.
Senator Lee. Senator Lee, aye.
They need 1 more aye vote.
Senator Moylan. Senator Moylan, pass. Senator Munya. Senator Munya, pass. Vice Speaker Nelson. Vice Speaker Nelson, aye.
Okay, the budget passed.
Senator Shelton. Senator Shelton, aye. Senator Titagui. Senator Titagui, pass. Senator Therese Terlahi. Senator Therese Terlahi, aye.
Interesting.
No, they still have to get the votes of Oyland, Tidegui, Castro, and Munya, who all passed twice. If they pass one more time, it'll be considered a no vote. Or they can vote no, or
Senator
they can vote
Castro.
yes.
Senator Castro, aye. Senator Moylan. Senator Moylan, nay. Senator Munya. Senator Munya, aye. Senator Tidegui. Senator Tidegui, nay.
Interesting.
Just those two is no?
Yeah. Everyone else, yes. And no one did the no balls 3-pass thing. That's like, you don't want to say no, so you procedurally become a no by passing 3 times.
Bill number 186-35 COR received 12 ayes, 2 nays, 1 excused absence. Bill number 186-35 COR is duly passed by this body.
The August one.
I like what she's
Senator
wearing
Therese
too.
Terlahi, you are recognized.
I actually like what she's wearing.
Madam Speaker, on extension of remarks.
Ooh, well, this should be good.
Senator Terlahi, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This budget is not perfect. It still has some fat, and some agencies will be hard-pressed to achieve more than the status quo. We will have to rely not just on the management, but on every government employee to find efficiencies. But this budget does have some good things in it. This budget adds 50 new police officers if everybody can do their part to get those processed. It also adds money to expand our children's shelter and get at least 24 more of the 200 plus homeless children safely off the street, and to support the Autism Center. This budget sets aside for tax refunds and sets aside a rainy day fund for reduction of the deficit. This budget allows flexibility for the governor in areas where there may be critical shortfalls, and for DPW to focus on the roads. This budget also locks up $10 million for the first time in years towards repairs and safety and CMS approval at the Guam Memorial Hospital, while we confirm the long-term plan. I hope in good faith that that money does not get diverted. All the rest we will have to work harder on throughout the year. And I would like to sincerely thank my colleagues for their debate of the issues and support of sometimes controversial amendments. And I would like to thank the Office of Finance and Budget and the Legislature staff for their hard work. And we will especially miss our Legislative Counsel, Julian Uggan, going forward. Si Dios Masi. I would also like to thank the people of Guam for their attention, for continuing to care for our island and our government, for sharing their thoughts and their advice throughout this process. Together with focus and hard work, we can go forward and address even those long-standing challenges one by one. I humbly ask that you never stop asking questions and never stop expecting better. And finally, Madam Speaker, I'd like to wish everyone a happy Labor Day. And I look forward to seeing the government employees at the picnic, and to seeing everyone at the march in support of self-determination on Monday. Si Tu'us Ma'asi.
Buen provecho, Senator Tidegui. Senator Luis Muñoz, I will recognize you.
Senator Tidegui.
Did you guys see that eye roll that happened? Did you see the eye roll?
Yeah. She looked like a Muñoz.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for
Barnes.
recognizing me, and to my colleagues. I was somewhat torn as to how I would vote on this budget act.
Oh, my.
There are many reasons why I could have voted no.
What, did your
Well, you
left brain
didn't.
get
The
torn from
increase
your
of the
right
Healthy
brain?
Futures Fund projection resulted in several new earmarks and provisions that were added to the bill without the benefit of a hearing. This made it impossible for funding to the Guam Cancer Trust Fund to get anywhere
Get
near
over
the
it,
full
baby.
funding that it was intended when the program law was created. But knowing that most of the reprojected Healthy Futures Fund revenues went to Medicaid matching funds, GMH, and public health, my concerns were eased, but still present. I was disappointed that my colleague's amendment to roll back the BPT increase in 2020 did not pass. A year and a half ago, we made a commitment that we would roll back the BPT and sales tax provisions in the emergency budget bill in 2 years. That amendment would have fulfilled that promise. We would also be able to prepare for next year's budget by reducing some costs and looking for better ways to enhance revenues. We also did not have the opportunity to question some of the various agencies and program heads about the differences between the bill and the governor's budget bill. And also that the judiciary funding was reduced from the original bill without a hearing.
We'll work for the Cowboys meeting.
Now, Madam Speaker, my reason for voting yes on the bill is that UOG and GCC are assured that funding for this semester of the academic year can continue. The academic year began a few days ago, and scholarships for this semester are funded by the 2019 budget. I'm happy that 13 out of the 14 senators supported the continued funding of the scholarship and financial aid programs.
Hey, Hoffa Blondie, I just
Medicaid,
recognized your hair.
MIP, and GMH funding are significantly higher than the previous versions of the budget bill. This greatly helps those in poverty get suitable health care. They did not allow the expenditures of lapses prior to the end of the fiscal year. This makes it possible to get more money from Medicaid matching funds and the Guam Cancer Trust Fund. Had these anticipated lapses been appropriated, we could have risked increasing the deficit with an unbalanced budget. Now, considering, Madam Speaker, that we had very little time to review this bill before heading into session, so little time that we had practically have to race through this bill, there was very little choice but to pass it. I really want to thank BBMR, DOA, OFB, and of course our legal counsel for working on this. The great part about our process is that it's not over. I will continue to work with the administration to get the Guam Cancer Trust Fund its funding. You can be sure that my colleagues and I will continue to work together to fix these deficiencies on this budget bill. I thank you, Madam Speaker, and our body here, and all of the employees that worked so hard to get this budget bill done. And I wish all of our employees a happy Labor Day. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Senator Munya. I have Senator Regine Bisco-Lee and then Senator Taitigui. Anyone else? Senator Regine, you are recognized.
Sujus Masi, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'd also like to thank my colleagues and the people of Guam for their participation in this budget process. And Madam Speaker, I know that it's late at night and that we'd all like to get home sooner rather than later, but I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge what might be the final session of a man we all know and respect. While my goal is to recognize Attorney Julian Uggan, I know that he'd give me an earful if I didn't first recognize the hard work of everyone at the Legal Bureau, the Office of the Clerk, the Office of Finance and Budget, our core staff, BBMR and DOA. Madam Speaker, they worked around the clock, leaving only to shower or find food that you can carry in a paper bag. With more than 70 amendments, this 145-page document would not have been possible without their dedication and hard work. We owe them and Chairman San Augustine our thanks and appreciation. Madam Speaker, in 1998, Julian Uggan sang for an island-wide audience to welcome President Clinton. And this year, former President Barack Obama recognized him for a career spent in human rights and the advancement of indigenous people. Blue Ocean Law Firm, the firm he founded when he was just 28 years old, works across multiple jurisdictions and develops innovative legal strategies to advance the self-determination struggles of Native and non-self-governing peoples. A member of the bar in Guam, Palau, and the Marshall Islands, Attorney Julian Uggan has provided counsel for governments, civil society organizations, and national liberation movements. His projects have included working with the Marshall Islands to seek redress for the harms of nuclear testing, fighting for the to protect the land rights of indigenous peoples of the Northern Mariana Islands, and providing lawmakers from small island states with legal and regulatory tools to better protect their natural resources. Madam Speaker, tonight I wanted to recognize Attorney Julian Uggan. As legal counsel of the 34th and 35th Guam legislatures, he has repeatedly defended this branch from executive branch intrusion. He has stood tall in defense of the island's right to self-determination, and he has been at the forefront of human rights law for indigenous people. I know that we still have solid professional personnel in our legal bureau right now, but Julian Uggan, all his talent, all his hard work, and his wit will be sorely missed. Attorney Uggan, it has been my privilege to have your counsel and to witness your love for the law and the people of this place. I know that you will do great things in the days and the months to come, but never forget that you are a son of Guam. You will always be needed. And here, in this hall, you will always have a home. Happy Labor Day, everybody.
Thank you, Senator Lee. Senator Chadwick, you are recognized.
Sijus Mossy, Madam Speaker, and Julian, I wish you the best of luck as well. We've had many laughs here and great discussions, and I appreciate everything that you've done in this legislature. I really hate to see you go. It's a wealth of knowledge that's leaving this legislature, and it's kind of frightening that you're leaving. And Madam Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to register my comments on the record concerning the decision on Bill 186. But first, I'd like to thank the staff of OFB for all their hard work, and that my vote wasn't based on that. I hope they don't take that, my vote no for this bill, because I know that they worked very hard, and it was no reflection on the work that they did. But Madam Speaker, Bill 186 supports a number of the issues I continue to push forward, with the administrative support of charter schools, road repairs, emergency foster care services, and improvements to the Guam Memorial Hospital facilities. However, Madam Speaker, I couldn't, in good conscience, vote in favor of a bill as it failed our people on several and very important fronts. I opposed Bill 186. Senators had less than 2 weeks to review and debate the single most important bill that we must consider by this legislature, a measure outlining how $1 billion of taxpayer money will be spent. Without a fair process to properly scrutinize the budget bill, bad policy calls continue to be made, such as a decision to take from Peter to pay Paul, reducing much needed budget of our co-equal branch of government, the judiciary, taking $1 million from their budget. The cuts affect increased health insurance costs in the new fiscal year based on an earlier bill this legislature passed, requiring insurance plans to cover all public and private hospitals. And with this decision, court services may also be in jeopardy going forward. Madam Speaker, another serious issue which we had little attention on as the budget bill was rushed through in 10 days before the August 31st deadline concerns whether government in Guam has set aside enough local money for Medicaid. As we wait action by Congress to provide for a temporary increase to the limits of Medicaid program payments. And more importantly, Bill 186 ignores calls from our people for policymakers to make difficult but necessary decisions which are desperately needed to help reduce the cost of living for our families. Madam Speaker, having more decisions on tax collections and whether actions by the previous legislature to increase certain taxes is necessary, and more families are having to make hard decisions, such as whether they can afford gas over food, over medicine. A failure by this legislature, by all of our leaders, to reduce the cost of government and support new economic activity will have dire consequences going forward, especially as national and international crises are beyond our control, such as possible economic recession that may lead the federal government to consider reducing payroll tax. And of course, constant and provocated actions by North Korea, which we all know can do harm to our visitor industry. Madam Speaker, whether the decisions are made in DC, Guam must be prepared to deal with the consequences of reduced revenues. With this, I believe the passage of Bill 186 is fiscally irresponsible. It fails to prepare our island for potential disasters, whether economic, natural, or man-made, and it does little to help our families who are struggling every day. Tomorrow is the picnic for Labor Day. These government of Guam employees and as well as everyone who work hard and have to sometimes work 2 jobs at one time. The cost of living is high on this island. This bill does not recognize how to adjust that, how to listen to what our people are talking about. I wish everyone a happy Labor Day. And thank God, and may God continue to bless Guam and her people. Thank you, Madam Chair, Speaker.
You're welcome. Senator Jim Moylan and then Senator Mary Torres.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just like to express that while it was kind of stressful the past 10 days working on this budget bill, it was also a monumental task working with my colleagues throughout the process. You know, I won't lie, many times in the past week and a half, I was a little bit disappointed. But sure, there was some tension in the room, and yes, there were times I felt that any amendment I brought to the table was essentially DOA or dead on arrival. But you know, I realized something throughout the last few days, and basically it's like a family, and no family is perfect. And disagreements are common. And it reminds me like being home for a typhoon. You know, at first you smile and you kind of cook and get the food ready for the storm.
Not everybody.
And then we play some games, break out the cards, play some bingo, start talking stories, and then the power goes out. But at some point we kind of get tired, and then the circumstances and kind of get a little on each other's nerves, and we kind of get into some disagreements. But then the storm passes, and the morning comes and the storm is all calmed down, and we realize it's just another day. and we gauge our situation and we start anew. And as we walk out of here today, I hope that we all are able to reset the process, engage the circumstances, and start the work for the people bright and early tomorrow morning. I know I will just be doing that as well. But I'd like to close with just three quick statements. And a couple of senators really stand out in my mind that I just really want to acknowledge. First, I want to thank you, Senator Therese Talahi. Your passion on your work couldn't have been any more evident than what was on display for the past week. And to my good friend, Senator Joe San Augustine, you held the group together well, and that was no easy task. And to my colleagues and to the staff of the Guam Legislature, happy Labor Day. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Just Masi,
Therese,
Senator
Joe,
Moylan, Senator Mary
staff.
Torres, you are recognized.
Madam Speaker, it's nearly 11 o'clock, and this marathon has been a 12-day marathon with this session on the budget bill, and I just want to acknowledge and thank the chair of the Committee on Appropriations, you, Madam Speaker, Office of Finance and Budget, and our very excellent legal team. Julian, we wish you well. We know that you won't be too far from your beloved Guam and all the people here, and you'll always be accessible, I'm sure. But I also want to just acknowledge the government of Guam and all the employees of the government of Guam as we celebrate Labor Day. Many of us are well aware, as we try to lobby for funding to assist one government entity or another, the value of government services and all the services that are provided to our community, but most especially the value of the employees and what they contribute. So on this Labor Day, I just want to give a heartfelt Sizuos Ma'asi to all our employees of Guam. You certainly are not out of mind, and you certainly are not out of our heart and all good intentions from this legislature. So happy Labor Day to everybody, and enjoy your 3-day weekend. Most especially enjoy your families, because we understand as a family in the legislature, while we may disagree and have differences of opinion on policy, we ultimately come together to pass what is really our most critical role here is the budget for the government of Guam. Happy Labor Day, everybody. Sizuos Ma'asi, and let's all just spread the love and appreciation this weekend. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Senator Mary Torres. Legislative Secretary, Senator Amanda Shelton, you are recognized.
Sizuos Ma'asi, Madam Speaker, and I too have been very honored to be a part of this budget process. And I think that, this budget bill finally contains allotment protections for the University of Guam and the Guam community.
Okay, they're getting boring now. So, it's not just because it's Senator Amanda Shelton. I've actually grown to respect her over the past few days. She was on Team Therese Terlahi, so it's just that they're saying the same thing. Viva Julian. Viva.
Let's get some fireworks up in there. Let's have a
Do
potluck.
you think the governor at least saved them some fireworks for tonight?
No.
No,
They ate it all.
Lo Mampuspat says she's greedy.
Some potluck with, what's the name of that? Or Island Cuisine? Some potluck from Island Cuisine. Dude. Hey.
I didn't see any freaking orange Tupperware on that table, man. Or, the 1970s green Tupperware.
The governor and the lieutenant governor paid out of their own pocket.
Bullshit.
And there are kids that went to school without uniform.
Yeah.
School supplies.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up because there was I almost forgot about this. Hang on.
Hang on.
In my new WhatsApp chat group, Kandit DOE.
Am I part of that group?
No, I just started it. It's John,
I'm being pushed out,
Mark,
guys.
Mark, and Maria. No, it was because John wasn't answering my freaking question, so I just added Mark Mendiola and Maria Gutierrez to it. And man, I'm getting answers like real quick now.
Great.
So a constituent,
Thanks, Marky.
okay, a constituent sent to us a message from an administrator at Ordot Chalampago Elementary School that says, reminders, open house, Friday, 8/30/19 from 5:30 to 6:30, 5th grade math, blah, blah, blah. Per administration and parent handbook, students will be required to wear uniforms to school. The proper uniform is a navy blue polo shirt with the OCPES ant logo and khaki pants. Teachers have been informed to enforce the uniform policy and start writing office discipline referrals starting second quarter. Blue jeans and other colored bottoms will not be allowed, as well as the older Team Ants shirt. And so when I got this from a parent, the parent was like, some of us, we can't afford the cost of the uniform. And like you were saying, instead of buying fireworks for a government house private party for the 100 administration people.
Are they in cahoots with Pauls? Are they in cahoots?
Or Bix.
Or Bix?
I'm not sure which I was going to say something racist. I'm not sure.
Yeah, don't.
I'm not sure which tailoring company OCPS is with. Well, if we can say Korean store to describe any mom and pop store, never mind. So, it was a little outrageous, right? And of course the parent.
I don't think it's the law.
By law,
by law, if my child came home because she uses the uniform shirt, even my son, and I get different bottoms, right?
Or the patches from last year or something.
No. They wear the uniform shirt and they can use whatever bottom, right? If they came home with a note, I will fight that to the end.
Well, yeah, and you would be on the side of the actual board policy, which agrees with you. So according to Maria Gutierrez, I
want to be a part of that chat. I got some tips about embezzling money, the children's money, the sports money.
Okay, I'll add you. Hang on. Let me just find that from Maria Gutierrez. There is... I cannot find... There's too many fucking emails here. So Maria Gutierrez actually sent board policy, I think it's 401, which says exactly what you're saying. That the kids are not supposed to be written up just because they came in without the proper uniform. If they tried, if it's the same color shirt, but it doesn't have the patch because that's all they could afford. Hey, do not let the kids miss instructional time just because you don't agree with their uniform choices. Or if the bottom is different.
I'm pretty sure their school has extra uniforms there, the nurse's office or the front office. Guys, these people at the school, they chose this profession. Their hearts go out to the children. It's not gonna be like you didn't have a uniform, you're gonna go home or you're gonna be suspended or you're gonna have to do work detail. These people, the people at the school, they will see that the child might need help, any kind of help, even uniform help, and find ways to help them. Guam is lucky. We have those teachers and we have the administrators at the schools because most of them care about the children. So, are you listening to me?
I'm adding you, Eric, and Carlos to the chat room.
I don't care about Eric and Carlos. I'm butthurt right now.
So, John Fernandez responded, and so this should allay the concern of this one parent who sent the concern over, and also to any other parent at any school, actually. So, John Fernandez says, the principal clarified that she did not send out any information regarding uniforms to anyone, including teachers, or inform any teacher that students will be given an office disciplinary, whatever, ODR, whatever that is, if they are not in full uniform. OCPES does continue to encourage students to wear the full uniform. If they are unable to, for whatever reason, it has never been a problem. The principal reiterated this during the orientation with parents and clarified it again on Friday night at the open house. The email stated only khaki pants, but students are allowed to wear any khaki bottoms that can be purchased anywhere per board policy. As far as OCPES spirit shirts, the one without a patch, students are still allowed to use these shirts. The principal clarified that this is her fifth year there, and she has never been given an ODR to a student who wasn't in uniform. The principal has already spoken to her leadership team and asked them to clarify this with all students. The principal will also meet with the person who sent that notice out to discuss. And then there was a second issue, and this was actually brought to our attention by 3 different people, and it is the traffic situation on Marine Drive, southbound lane. Yeah, southbound lane, the outer lane closest to JFK High School. And it's the traffic situation that exists between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m., and it's because of the buses.
It's so bad it affects the other side of the road too that has a median.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Because everyone's trying to make a left turn.
Oh.
Bus to you.
Goes to show how often I'm out at that time of the day.
Even in the morning, too.
In the morning too?
It gets bad in the morning.
So apparently what happens, and this is according to 3 different people, is they, for a period of time, they close off that outermost lane. And I was wondering why, because they have that turning in thing. I don't know what that's called. Do you know what that's called? It's a turning in thing. That's what it's called on Kandit News. And they also have a really big parking lot where you can weave things, the buses can weave through and all that stuff, right? So I told John Fernandez about that issue, and I asked, what the principal there is going to do about it, if there's anything that they can they have some courtesy for the rest of Guam? And so he says, I spoke to Dr. Adamas, that's the principal. JFK does stop all lanes of traffic once the buses are ready to leave. This takes 3 minutes. Bullshit. That's a lie. As there are only 4 buses headed out the main gate headed to Tumuning. The rest exit through the side gate toward the light Kmart intersection. This pattern was developed in consultation with DPW and GPD. School is open to other suggestions, but should be done in consultation again with DPW and GPD. That was a little bit of a punt. That was a punt there to Department of Public Works and Guam Police Department. Right on. Well, at least John Fernandez responded to these concerns, and he took them very seriously. And hi, America. Hello. It's Labor Day, not Independence Day. America.
I don't like her. She ripped my jeans.
No, that was Africa.
No, that was America.
Oh, she's grown, huh? Come here, America. What kind of jeans were they?
Expensive jeans. I think the 7 for all mankind.
No, it's 8. Hi, my baby. Get down. Where's Romeo? He was here.
He's outside talking to our guest.
Oh, okay. Discussing some stuff. So, going back to the budget, I only actually re-listened to what Senator Therese Terlahi was saying, and I took some notes. So she says in this budget there are 50 new police officers budgeted for. Funding so that 24 more homeless children can have shelter. I don't know entirely what that means, whether they're going to be in maybe that's the foster home, right? That's the transitional home for foster children. Well, until they get their foster family. That's probably what it is. Support for the Autism Center, I believe that's the $150,000 funding. $125 million set aside for tax refunds, so that's the annual thing. The 2% rainy day fund, that's for deficit reduction. Transfer authority for the governor, so all that transfer authority means the legislature couldn't find enough money to fund all of the agencies, especially the smaller ones, so they just give it in a lump sum to the governor, and they tell her, oh, you have a transfer authority, go ahead and transfer between budgets. Make it work, girl, make it work. That's what the legislature does. She mentioned a roads appropriation, and is that the one from Senator Talina Nelson or Amanda Shelton or something? It was when they were trying to Christmas tree the excess revenues from fiscal year 2019, and I think that's where that appropriation comes from. And then she discusses the $10 million CIP funding for GMH, and she says it's a good start in lieu of any plan, because as far as we know, there is no other plan in the government of Guam to fund $52 million in capital improvement projects needed to bring GMH up to standard with the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services, basically so that GMH can keep its annual funding, like the lion's share of its annual funding. And this is an interesting point that Senator Terlahi makes about, in lieu of any plan, because we sent an email to both the speaker and the governor's office, followed up with Janela Carrera, did not get any response even after the follow-up. But our question was very simple. It was, is there any plan that exists to fund this $52 million in capital improvement, in construction projects for Guam Memorial Hospital? And I believe that the answer is just no. No one has a plan, except for Senator Therese Terlahi.
What about the money coming from the game rooms? Where's that money?
So part of that money goes to GMH. Part of it goes to the mayors. And
More money goes to the mayors?
yeah, like lots of different pots of money go to the mayors. And that's where they have grass cutting, for areas that no longer are with the mayors, like in the village
Grass
of PD.
cutting for the cement?
Yeah, grass cutting for the cement and the asphalt. We're, I don't think it's very possible to be completely positive when you're a news station and you call out the corruption, because all we're doing really is like naming the corrupt activities, and that's not exactly a positive.
No, I was thinking, when we call this out, all these people who are doing the corruption, their works and how they're getting it done, and how they crawl back. Yeah. So we're winning.
Yeah,
it may not stop them, because they're gonna figure out another way. Because a snake will find a way, right?
Slither.
But we're making them step the fuck back.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that, Chalu.
Yeah.
High five it right there. High five. As you can see, we really have nothing else to talk about.
But each other.
Except that big freaking elephant in the room, but we're going to talk about it.
Yes.
Hi, America. We love
Maybe
you
she's
too.
hungry again.
This bitch has been eating all day. Look at her stomach, man. Tammy says it's a boy.
What if she's pregnant already?
She's not.
Because you're dog.
Oh, I was gonna make a village joke. I would be in trouble. I was totally gonna make a village joke.
Did anybody want me to say anything on? No.
Any happy birthdays?
Just that Amy's son Carson.
Chaifi.
Chaifi. What's that's his full name?
Yeah, Kaysen is the
No,
oldest
what's Chaifi for?
Chaifi. The fighter.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you told me that. But anyways, her son is in the pageant. We're having a fundraiser September 14, I believe. It's on her page, Amy Jackson, at the bar. So go to her page if you want to donate, if you want to buy tickets. Call me or Troy. Troy's number is 456-4237.
Johnny's number is 797-7082. She has WhatsApp as well. And she answers Messenger too. Son of a bitch.
Are we having a show tomorrow?
It's Sunday. Yeah.
We are?
Yeah, because it's supposed to be our.
Why do you say it's Sunday like we're not?
No,
Yeah.
because it's like historically or whatever. It's our best. Like I guess people want to know the news on Sunday. I think because no one else has news on Sunday. Huh? I never go to the Labor Day picnic. It's so hot.
Say hi to Romeo, guys.
You're live. We were just closing the show.
Get in here. Say hi. We're about to say goodnight to
Oh, watch
everyone.
out for America. You're about to sit on it. I am very yellow.
And I want everybody to know that Guam Legislature's public access to the Wi-Fi is not working and does not work. And the person in charge of the technical department has no technical background. What the fuck is that?
A lot of the people working don't have the experience and that's
To run, I mean, we've all been in that situation. How many times have you worked with somebody that you know was incompetent, but they were there because they were
You know,
higher
when I
money.
started to work at the clinic, they didn't have a position for me, and it was created.
Well, I do.
And I had an anklet on my leg, so when I went to my first day of work, I had this big black anklet.
Were you the person put in charge of other people who were
No,
competent and knew
no,
what they were
I
doing?
didn't have a boss. They put me in my own section, and it was called Special Projects.
You were a special projects coordinator?
She is a special
But wait, no, there was a plan. I was doing special projects, and then I had to take some courses to become a certified medical biller.
But you know
And
what?
that's
You followed through, and
Yeah.
you know,
And
you're
you
a person-
succeeded.
You're a person that I would invest in, But I went down to the legislature since I was uptown, and the idea was to listen to the budget hearing, which started very late, and see where they were at. And since I was there, I figured people's house, so let me go down there. But yeah, they make it so that if the public does go there and they want to post live, they want to share what their opinions are about what their august body is doing, you can't, because it wouldn't even show up as an option on networks available. And then when I
just think
complained
that-
about it, it did show up, but it showed up with one bar, and it wouldn't even connect. And I found out that the individual who's in charge of the MIS department is someone who I know personally, has no background in technical to be in charge of a department like that, which means the individuals who are competent and are the ones held accountable to keep that place up and running have to work under someone who's a useless person.
That's the government for
and
you.
I believe
when they hired Joanne Brown, right? At least you knew, you knew that she could pull those ships in,
Yeah,
just
put the chain in her mouth and let her pull. But so as I was leaving, someone else told me that individual, whose name I won't say just because I don't want to embarrass him, he's already an embarrassment, is on Regine Biscuit Lee's payroll, and it would figure one useless person for another useless person.
Well, that's our goal next week, is to get another staffing pattern.
Oi, I heard you guys were talking about a big elephant in the room earlier.
We are not talking about the big elephant in the room.
Okay, good night, guys. Good night, Guam. We love you.
I thought you were talking about it.
No,
we're not. We haven't figured it out yet.
Oh, let me tell you all about it then.
Good night, Guam. We love you. Brim, hurry up.